Every year, more than 12 billion cans of energy drinks are consumed around the world. From professional athletes to people trying to stay awake in front of their computers, these drinks have become a modern symbol of performance and vitality. But how do they manage to pack so much energy into a single can? To find out, we step inside the factories of some of the world's most popular energy drink brands to uncover how one of the most consumed products on the planet is made. Although energy drinks may seem like a recent invention, their history dates back to the mid-20th century. In Japan during the 1960s, liquid tonics containing caffeine and vitamins were created to combat work-related fatigue. The idea later spread to Europe and the United States, where the formulas were adapted to Western tastes by adding carbonation, fruity flavors, and a more appealing format. The metal can. Over time, energy drinks evolved from being simple stimulants to becoming a cultural phenomenon associated with sports, speed, and physical and mental endurance. Today, the global energy drink market exceeds $80 billion and continues to grow, driven by an unending demand for instant energy. So, what exactly happens inside the factories where millions of these drinks are made every day? Everything begins with the selection of raw materials. The point where science meets quality control. Caffeine, taurine, B-complex vitamins, and sugars or sweeteners arrive from different certified suppliers, each one ensuring purity and traceability. Caffeine can come directly from coffee or tea, or it can be synthetically produced to guarantee a consistent level of potency. Taurine, on the other hand, is synthesized industrially and stored as a fine white powder in dry conditions to preserve its stability. The vitamins often come in liquid or encapsulated form to make them easier to dissolve during mixing. Before moving forward, every component undergoes strict laboratory analysis to verify solubility, concentration, and purity, ensuring that each batch meets exact safety and efficacy standards. At this stage, the energy is still potential, stored within every molecule, waiting to be transformed into a drink that can awaken the world inside the plant. The next step is to create the base medium for the formula, purified water. Nothing is left to chance. In massive stainless steel tanks, water undergoes a multi-stage filtration process to remove impurities, salts, and microscopic organisms. Each filter acts as a progressive barrier, first stopping large particles, then fine sediments, and finally any remaining traces through reverse osmosis, a process that forces water through semi-permeable membranes to separate even dissolved ions. The result is an entirely neutral liquid, so pure it could be used in pharmaceutical laboratories. Temperature control is crucial. Just a few degrees of variation can make the difference between proper and uneven dissolution of active ingredients. In some cases, a small dose of citric acid or carbonate is added to regulate pH levels, preventing chemical reactions between ingredients during mixing and ensuring long-term product stability. It's a quiet but essential step, where water, seemingly simple, becomes a perfectly balanced base ready to host the compounds that will give life to the energy drink. With the purified and balanced water base ready, it's time to add the ingredients that transform that neutral liquid into a true energy drink. In sealed mixing tanks, the process begins with precision and control. The active components, caffeine, taurine, and B-complex vitamins, are added first, followed by sweeteners, flavorings, and colorants that define the drink's final profile. Inside the tank, powerful rotating paddles create a constant swirling motion that keeps everything suspended until complete dissolution is achieved. It's a process that blends power and finesse, where mixing speed, temperature, and timing must align perfectly. But you might wonder, what exactly does each ingredient in an energy drink do inside your body? Each component plays a specific role in producing a feeling of alertness and focus. Caffeine stimulates the central nervous system, helping to reduce fatigue and increase alertness. Taurine, an amino acid naturally found in the human body, supports proper muscle function and fluid balance within cells. B-complex vitamins assist in carbohydrate metabolism, converting sugars into usable energy. Finally, sugars or sweeteners add flavor and provide a quick energy boost. When combined in the right proportions, These ingredients create a temporary surge of vitality and mental focus. As the mixture flows, a network of electronic sensors continuously monitors caffeine concentration, pH level, and sweetness. If any parameter drifts from the standard, the system automatically adjusts ingredient flow to maintain chemical balance and the drink's characteristic flavor. Within minutes, the liquid becomes uniform in texture and slightly translucent, a sign that all components have blended perfectly. What emerges from that tank is much more than just a drink. It's the precise formula that defines each brand's unique strength. It doesn't yet contain carbonation, but at this stage, it already holds all the energy that will later be sealed inside a can. This is where industrial chemistry becomes an art of balance. Every milligram matters, and every turn of the mixer brings the formula closer to perfection. With the base mixture ready, one of the most delicate steps begins: carbonation. Here, the drink enters a closed circuit where carbon dioxide is injected under pressure, a gas that dissolves into the chilled liquid, forming the tiny bubbles that give it its signature sparkle. This step demands absolute precision. The temperature is kept between 2 and 4 degrees Celsius, the ideal range for gas absorption. It's the same principle that keeps a cold beverage fizzy longer after being opened. Inside the tank, carbon dioxide spreads evenly, infusing the liquid with microscopic life. The bubbles form within seconds, creating that familiar tingling sensation felt with the first sip. But the balance is fragile. Too much gas can make the drink harsh or alter its flavour, while too little makes it flat and dull. That's why each batch is calibrated according to the brand's specific formula. At this stage, the liquid energy reaches its final texture: light, vibrant, and ready to be sealed in a can. In many plants, the carbon dioxide used for carbonation isn't produced from scratch. It's recovered from other industrial processes like fermentation or ammonia production, reducing waste and reusing a gas that would otherwise be released into the atmosphere. Once carbonation is complete, the drink goes through the final filtration and stabilization stage, where clarity and stability are perfected before packaging. The liquid passes through ultrafine polishing filters that capture any microscopic particles or residues remaining from earlier stages. This process is like polishing crystal. The goal is a flawless, bright, and perfectly uniform finish. During this phase, approved preservatives such as potassium sorbate can be added, along with antioxidants that protect the drink from oxidation and extend its shelf life. These substances work invisibly, keeping the colour, flavour, and properties of the product intact during storage. The fully filtered and stabilised mixture is then transferred to pressurised tanks, where it remains for a short period before packaging. These tanks act as a controlled waiting chamber, maintaining internal pressure and a low temperature to keep the gas from escaping too soon. It is the last moment when the drink is visible in the process before being sealed inside its final container, preserving its freshness and characteristic effervescence. With the drink stabilised and ready, one of the most dynamic stages begins: packaging. On a fully automated line, aluminum cans and plastic bottles move at high speed, but only after going through a rigorous cleaning system. Each container is washed with steam and filtered air to remove any microscopic particles or residues before reaching the filling area. Although it may seem like a minor detail, the interior of aluminum cans is coated with an invisible protective layer that prevents the metal from coming into contact with the drink. This barrier stops chemical reactions that could alter the flavour or composition of the product, especially in beverages with a high content of citric acid. Once cleaned, the cans line up beneath the filling nozzles, where the carbonated liquid is dispensed with precise accuracy. The exact amount of drink and the level of gas are controlled electronically to ensure uniform internal pressure in every unit. Within seconds, the container is hermetically sealed with an aluminum ring lid that is mechanically pressed onto the rim. This closure is essential as it traps the carbonation and prevents the product from losing freshness. After sealing, the drinks pass through a labelling and coding system where the production date and batch number are printed. They then move through an automatic inspection tunnel that checks the weight, fill level, and tightness of the seal. only the units that meet all parameters continue to the packaging and distribution stage. At this point, the liquid energy leaves the production line as a finished product, ready to travel the world inside its bright metal container. Throughout the entire process, from the initial mixing to the final packaging, continuous quality control ensures the uniformity of every batch. At regular intervals, samples are taken and analysed in internal laboratories to confirm that the proportions of caffeine, taurine, and sugar remain within the established ranges. Even the smallest deviation can alter the flavour or effects of the drink, so every measurement is checked with meticulous precision. Technicians perform pH tests, microbiological checks, and internal pressure measurements on the cans or bottles to ensure the gas and ingredients remain in balance. All results are recorded digitally and compared with each batch's reference standards. Only products that meet all parameters advance to the distribution phase. It is a process that blends technology with scientific rigour, where energy is not only manufactured but verified repeatedly before reaching the consumer. Once the cans pass the final inspections, they are grouped carefully onto pallets and moved to large storage warehouses where temperature and humidity are kept under strict control. Direct light is avoided at all times, as it could affect the colour and stability of the drink. At this stage, the product is fully finished, but still undergoes a brief resting period that allows internal pressure to stabilise and ensures that every can maintains its optimal level of carbonation. From there, the pallets are loaded onto climate-controlled transport vehicles that take them to logistics centres and retail locations. During the entire journey, sensors monitor temperature and humidity to guarantee that the drink preserves its freshness and flavour until it reaches the consumer. Every container carries a traceability code that makes it possible to track the origin of all its components, from the source of the caffeine to the exact packaging date. And that is how millions of cans of energy drinks are produced. Tell me, did you already know this process? I will read you in the comments. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe. In the windows you will see next, there are more videos of industrial processes as impressive as this one. See you next time.